the bad decision. Another thing is that exploration-based games tend to be out. Things like Metroidvania, for instance, unfortunately, as much as I love Metroidvanias, the problem with those is that races can be decided by a 50-50 decision to go the right way when there's faced with a left turn or a right turn, basically. Uh-huh. And that's no good. We don't want to see a race resolved by that. So linearity is important. Another thing is the depth of knowledge that you need in order to be viable. So when we do races, we make part of the submission process is you write up a paste bin with some basic information about the game to make sure that both racers are on equal footing. If there's some sort of speed tech in there, maybe let them know what that might be so that way it's not who figured out this thing first. If there is a wall in there, if there's some mechanic that's just plumb not obvious, then again, just try to get that out there so it's not whoever figures it out first does it. Okay. But other than that, I mean, really, we play everything. No, the depth of knowledge thing means no RPGs, especially because they're not really good races anyway. Though people will race RPGs in their free time. We do plenty of blind races outside of the tournament. But, no strategy games and the point-and-click adventures where you're trying to figure out what items are what. They're basically right out. But outside of those limits, in sports games, again, auto-scroller timers. So I say outside of those limits, even though I kept putting up a bunch of limits, but really that doesn't limit it very much. We have raced the most ridiculous games. There was a race of Donkey Kong Jr. Math at one point. There's a reject race because it turns out that's a terrible decision for an actual loss. But we've raced Donkey Kong Jr. Math. We've raced, we've done an RPG, or we got people who race RPGs. Picross races are really fun. People do those all the time. And golf. Mystery Tournament loves golf games too.
That's cool. How about something like what's it called? Lolo. Like that's kind of a puzzle-ish game, but it's it's a mixture. What about that?
Lolo has been in basically every Mystery Tournament since early on.
Cool. That's
good. Lolo puzzle games. We play a lot of puzzle games. Actually, the percentages of puzzle games during Mystery Tournament 12 was a little bit higher than normal. So we do race those. We race everything.
Is there any fear? There had to run out of blind games eventually, right?
Okay, so the main thing is that when you sign up for Mystery Tournament, because it's a double elimination tournament, you have to submit 2 games to the tournament yourself that need to be approved. So you go and find 2 games that you're like, oh, I know these games from my past or that I play or that are really fun. And you submit those, and then the testers will check them to make sure that they're viable for races and the like. And we have a better percentage of accepted than rejected, I believe.
Okay.
But that's how we keep the games flowing. And we see a lot of repeats. I mean, that's inevitable. But the best thing about repeats is that not everyone's always played them. I mean, a good example is that when Mystery Tournament 10, I submitted Kuru Kuru Kururin to it, which is a game where you're spinning helicopter, basically, and you have to make sure you don't hit walls. And then after submitting that, finding out that there was a guide of really good blind races to get you an idea of what are good, and Kuru Kuru was on there, and I was like, oh man, it's already been submitted before. And turns out 2 other people also submitted it to the tournament. But again, people have never played them. I submitted in Mystery Tournament 11 Contra. Like, Contra NES. With infinite lives. Oh, that was the other thing, is continues. Don't get games where you end up restarting all the way back to the beginning. Yeah. But the fact that there was 2 people who were actively blind to Contra. You're gonna see a number of games that have been submitted before, but we aren't gonna run out anytime soon. Hey, we have plenty of freeware submitted, and itch.io is always getting games all the time.
Okay, cool. So I guess, since it's a tournament, you can see the same kind of people playing. Do you think there's any kind of... Are the same people consistently successful? Is there any skill at playing a game blind? Or is it just like, if you're good at video games, you're good at blind games too?
No, there is skill to playing games blind. One of our guys, AND4H, took first place in like 4 tournaments prior. there are a bunch of people that you can see consistently getting top 8. But the other thing is that not only are there a lot of talented and skilled players, we also have players that started out not so great. But one of our racers, some girl on the internet, she does a bunch of races, and over time you can see that there is definitely much improvement in her skills. And it all boils down to like the best way to train on mystery games is just play random games, because you can start seeing that patterns repeat themselves over games. You know what a 5-hit boss fight looks like. You know what a 3-hit boss fight looks like. You know that Japanese games tend to favor 5 while Americans favor 3. Stuff like that. So when you start seeing these patterns, you can start understanding much better how everything's done, because there's only a certain amount of permutations of level design in the first place. So by playing more games, you start to understand more games, basically.
That makes sense, yeah.
But there's also natural talent involved in it, because the truth is, it's a game where you're getting random games. There's a level of RNG to it. You can get screwed because you got a game that you weren't all that great at. That's fine, that happens. You know, the best way to approach Mystery Tournament is just to have fun with it. Don't expect to take top 8 and then get excited when you do.
Is there any appetite in the future or sometime about like making some kind of prize for this, or is it part of it just to have fun, everyone can do it?
Oh, the prizes are a Steam game for top. Or we give out prizes for best prediction bracket. We give out prizes for the winners of the tournament, and we also give prizes out for the people who did drafts and won the drafts for it, like fantasy drafts. So there are prizes. They're typically like Steam games and the like.
So how about, you know, people I get some emails about people say I'm trying to get money into speedrunning too much. I've thought about money. I was like, to add to the hype, let's say what's one of the sponsors that everyone has now? One of these chair sponsors, right? They say, we'll give you $1,000 for your next blind mystery tournament for the first winner if you know, put a link in the stream or whatever. Would that be something that you would even be interested in, would listen to that offer?
Right now, our mystery tournament is sponsored by water, because we couldn't get any real sponsors. It'd be something that I might be open to. There's also the consideration of worrying about the whole idea of selling out. But you know, if we could actually get prizes and sponsorships, that'd be lovely. But as it stands right now, the main thing about it is that it's all people with hobbies doing things with hobbies.
Yeah.
I'm doing the restream because I have nothing better to do other than play video games. So it's either watch video games, play video games, and maybe just coast along with my existence.
I guess the other problem would be a big part of the speedrunning thing is like you have to be, you know, truthful enough to say that I'm blind with this game. And if you bring some money into it, that might make that some people, you know how it goes. You know how life is. You know how people are, you know.
So the thing about that is that redraws, the way that they're handled is that if you've played a game, if you pull a game that you've seen before, you can offer a redraw to keep it fair. Mm-hmm. Again, you can. It is not required to do redraws. They are, I mean, how can we be so sure that you've never played it outside of maybe looking at your speedrun live record or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's all honor system on that. Yeah, maybe introducing some prizes could be a problem, especially since there's random elements. Again, you could get screwed because you got something that you're just not quite good at. But it happens.
How about you know, is there any, you know, speed gaming is a huge thing now. It's also kind of doing tournaments and stuff. Is there any appetite to team up with them? Has there been any conversations about that? Because that seems like an easy tie-up, right?
So Speed Gaming actually did broadcast some of the Mystery Tournament 11 matches alongside us.
Okay, cool.
Back when I was just doing it on my channel, we had Speed Gaming had the option, and there was things about that. The main core philosophy behind Mystery Funhouse, though, the thing about Speed Gaming is that when you do a race on Speed Gaming, you stream to their RMTP server, you set it up minutes ahead of time, you add a level of complexity. Neither of the racers are allowed to have notifications or microphones on. All that stuff boils down to extra layers, and that's fine when you got, like, Speed Gaming has a bunch of watchers. They have a format, they have things that they do, and that's fine. But I wanted to add the extra layer, or I wanted to avoid any extra layers of complexity. Everything that comes on the Mystery Funhouse is done as a result of us just coming in the back end and just capturing your stream. You stream your Twitch channel to your followers. You can do your mic if you want. I ask if they have clean audio. If they do, I'll use it. Some of them that use mics commonly will give me clean audio for the race. And then I just restream it from there. No extra layers on that. And then, because the idea is to get everybody to be able to, like, check out the blind races, have a centralized